Hello everybody, this is Johnny21, and today the first pre-release for 1.16 was released for the Java edition of Minecraft. Now, in today's video, we're going to be looking at some of the additions and changes that this snapshot has brought, as well as some of the bug fixes. Now, as we move into the pre-release stages of 1.16, most of the changes are going to be bug fixes, so I'm going to cover a few more than I would normally do today. And as always, if you find this video useful, make sure to give it a like and subscribe for more Minecraft news, and make sure to hit the notifications bell so you're notified when I release a new video. But without further ado, let's get into today's video. So the only real new feature as such in this snapshot is located within video settings. Now, normally when you go to graphics, there is just fast and fancy, but now there is a new fabulous option, and this is designed to work with shaders. And he gives a little explanation here. So it says fabulous graphics enables screen shaders to draw translucent objects per pixel. So as we mentioned last time in the last snapshot, there has been some changes to the way shaders work to make them look better, I guess. And now they've just added a new option to make shaders look, even better. I mean, I don't really use shaders personally, but I'm guessing people who use shaders will be really glad that this is now a feature. And as it also gives you a little disclaimer, this may severely impact performances for portable devices like, laptops and stuff, and 4K displays. So if you've got a 4K display or a laptop you're playing Minecraft on, you might want to check that your computer can run Fabulous, otherwise you might get your game crashing or, severe lag, which, no one wants really, do they? Now moving on to some of the changes in this pre-release, you can now milk mushrooms and cows in creative mode, as well as get stew from mushrooms in creative mode. See, previously you wouldn't actually be able to get a bucket of milk and mushroom stew, you would just get nothing. Also, when you use an empty bucket on a water source in creative mode, you will now get a bucket of water. But if you already have one in your inventory, then no additional buckets of water will be given when you use an empty bucket on water. So as you can see, I've already got one, and now I won't get any more water buckets if I use an empty bucket. As you probably know, when a villager is struck by lightning, it will turn into a witch. Now these witches used to previously despawn, and in the last snapshot, apparently, they made it so they would no longer despawn. But in the change notes for this pre-release, they've also said that this is a feature in this pre-release as well. So either they just fixed the bug last time and they actually hadn't made it a permanent change, or they've just, done it twice for some reason. But anyway, they have made it so witches will no longer despawn if it came from a villager being struck by lightning. There's also been some changes to some game rules. So they've added a new game rule, which is called Universal Anger, which is disabled by default, and they've added a game rule Forgive Dead Players, which is enabled by default. Now, Universal Anger, when enabled, will make it so that when a player attacks a neutral mob and it becomes angered, it will not just anger towards the player that attacked them, it will actually go and attack any nearby players. And this works best if you disable Forgive Dead Players, which is a new gamer rule as well, which makes angered neutral mobs stop being angry when the targeted player dies nearby. Also, other changes include zombified piglins will no longer attack innocent bystanders unless you enable gamer rule Universal Anger, which of course means innocent bystanders as in, other people who were online at the time. And then if you hit a zombified piglin and it aggroes on you, it will not aggro on, your friends or, other people who are on the server with you. But of course, if you do choose to enable Universal Anger, they will attack innocent bystanders. And also, zombified piglins stop being aggressive if the targeted player dies nearby, unless you disable gamer rule Forgive Dead Players, which you kind of just discussed earlier when in the actual point. And basically, this is kind of just as normal. When you die, they stop being angry. But of course, now there is an option that you can actually disable Forgive Dead Players, so they actually will continue to attack even if you die. Whilst we're on the topic of neutral mobs, there's also been a bug fix for them. So you used to be able to get it so if you angered a neutral mob, so if I go ahead and anger this Enderman, he comes towards me, he's all hissing and stuff. If you reloaded the world, so just save and quit title and then went back into it, like so, the Enderman would no longer be angry sometimes, but now they will always be angry, so you're not going to be able to use that trick to just get out of an Enderman fight. There was also a bug in the game which meant that splash water bottles wouldn't harm snow golems or striders. Of course, they both should be harmed by water, so it kind of makes sense that the splash potion, of just a generic water bottle should damage them. And now, as you can see, it damages the snow golem, and it also should damage the strider. See, before there was a bug which meant that they wouldn't actually damage them, and I guess this has just been fixed to be a bit more consistent with how these two mobs take damage. There's also been some changes to some other problematic bugs, such as this one at the top. When a mob hits a zombified piglin and that mob dies, the zombified piglin attacks you. Now that could be a bit of a pain, really, if you're trying to make sure you just don't, trigger any of the zombified piglins in the Nether, as of course they will all come after you. And now it's been fixed so that if, another mob was accidentally or, purposely hit a zombified piglin and that mob dies, the zombified piglin is not going to come and attack you. Also, this has been kind of a similar fix for bees. So if a hostile mob hits a bee, so say you're fighting a skeleton and it accidentally shoots the bee, this would then make the bee become hostile towards you as it's taken damage. And of course, this is a bug because, they shouldn't become hostile unless you hit them. So that's now been fixed in this pre-release. There was also numerous fixes to casting issues. Now, I think this has to do with the particles emitted at high coordinates. They all kind of have the same theme, so water particles, redstone particles, particles from rain. It's like, the same thing each time. So basically, they've kind of just fixed some issues that you might have at high coordinates when it comes to casting particles. There's also been a fix to the soul speed effect. Now, if you remember when soul speed as an enchantment was released, there was like these mad launcher things that you could make with them, which meant you could get to like ridiculous speeds. Of course, they were like removed and patched, and I think now this is just like a final nail in the coffin to make sure it, it just doesn't get exploited again by making it so the soul speed effect will not stay when you fly / levitate off a soul sand or soul soil block. And there was also a bug which meant nether gold ore would be grey on a map. Now, of course, gold ore is grey because it's, it's a stone type block. But of course, nether gold ore isn't. It's kind of a nether type block. So they've just made a change to make it more consistent on maps. And there is a load of other bug fixes. There is going to be many more to come with the many other pre-releases they're going to do for this. They, in the past, they haven't just done one pre-release. It's often been multiple. They probably plan to fix bugs. It says up top here. Going forward, you should see mostly bugs being fixed. So yeah, you can go read about these yourselves. I'll leave a link to this page in the description. Now we move on to some technical changes in this pre-release. Smithing table recipes can now be added or changed through data packs, and there's a little bit of information down here. There is now a smithing recipe type. Recipes of this type are used in the smithing table to upgrade one item to another type, maintaining tags. So we have the base, which is the ingredient specifying an item to be upgraded, addition, which is an ingredient specifying valid items to trigger the upgrade, and result, the item specifying the result type of the upgraded item. So I think this means that you can now get, you can make or get data packs that will actually make smithing tables do more than just netherite tools. So potentially you could be doing, diamond tools, or you could just be doing, different types of upgrades. But this looks pretty cool. You might want to mess around with this if you're into making data packs. And there's been more safety added to data pack usage, as now the game will now detect critical data pack issues like missing required tags and prevent the world from being loaded. So like the previous snapshot, they're just making sure that data packs are stable. There is also now a new data pack selection button on the create world screen. So here we are on the create world screen. As you can see, there's a data packs button. Now here you will have, your available data packs that you've loaded up onto Minecraft, and you can also go to your open pack folder. This is where you place your data packs, so they appear on this side. Of course, you can get rid of the default one, put all your custom data packs in, and then you click done. Of course, I don't have any, so I'm just going to stay with the default for now. But yeah, this is a cool new screen, and it will allow you to put in data packs before you create a world. And there's also a copy world option, which will copy data packs present in a source world. And I'm not sure how you get this, but it might require you to have data packs installed, so that might be why it's not showing up for me. And that just about wraps up the first pre-release for 1.16. I'm sure in the coming weeks we're going to have some more pre-releases and eventually probably a full release, potentially in July of 1.16. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a like if you found this useful and subscribe for more Minecraft news and hit that notifications bell so you're actually notified when I release a new video. But as always, this has been Jono21 and I shall see you later.